Good morning. Welcome to this discussion. I'm Thomas Bido. I'm a consultant in the game industry. And I'm not going to say much. I'm going to ask questions mostly. Michael is going to be the one talking a lot. Michael is the European VP and General Manager for Destiny and Skylanders at Activision.
Yes.
And we are going to talk today about marketing, but more interestingly, innovative product innovation and the marketing for games. Michael, well, maybe we should start with the first of the two games you work on. Let's look into Skylanders. I think it's an interesting project. Back in 2001, it didn't exist. And then out of nowhere, Activision says, we're going to do a Skylander game. There's going to be toys, there's going to be physical items. Can you tell us a bit more about how Activision came into doing that kind of game?
Yeah, I mean, so we launched the first Skylanders called Spyro's Adventure in the Christmas 2011. But I mean, the studio Toys for Bob worked on the project for almost 3 years. So, I mean, the way we work with our studios at Activision is usually, these ideas, the big ideas over the last couple of years are coming from the studios. So first Toys for Bob, who had this vision of, bringing toys to life. They have been working with us on lots of movies IP and especially DreamWorks IP. We used to be publishing video games based on movies like Madagascar and other DreamWorks properties. So they had a big affinity with kids' video games, but they were a little bit tired of working on IPs which were very controlled IP and where obviously with these IPs there's lots of things you can do and you can't do. And so they came with this idea of, relaunching or rebooting the Spyro franchise, which was one of the franchise that we had within the merger between Vivendi Games and Vivendi Blizzard and Activision. And so they had this magic idea, which is, how can we combine the world of toys and action figures with the immersive nature of gameplay and video games. And they've done a lot of prototyping, and there's been lots of back and forth between them and us. So there's been lots of work. And but one day they presented to us this what we call the magic moment, where you put the toys on the magic portal and you bring toys to life in the video game. And even though we were not kids, we immediately understood the potential and the magic behind the project, and we really felt confident that we found something unique. And so what we did, we immediately did a lot of focus groups and panels with kids and families. Because obviously we found as video game executives that it sounds like a great idea and a great project, but obviously the target audience for this kind of game was mostly the kids and the family. So we did a lot of focus groups where we brought kids and families under NDA, and they were filmed. So we were filming their reaction. And it was amazing. We could see kids jumping around and being, so enthusiastic about this idea of, bringing toys to life. And we did that on a pretty big scale. We had, hundreds of focus groups. And so at this moment, we felt we had really something magic and something unique. But that was only the beginning. So then, obviously, in order to keep the interest in the game, we had to invest in a very deep game, and a high-quality game. And again, the ambition was, obviously, the growl was Mario. We said, ourselves, if we could have the same kind of quality as what Nintendo used to have with Mario, I would be very happy. So we've tried. I don't know if we've achieved it, but we tried to create a very rich universe and also to create great and iconic characters where the kids could build, a great connection, an emotional connection with the characters. So then we used what we do well at Activision. Because we are very happy and lucky to be financially stable and healthy. So we decided to invest into bringing some Hollywood talent to help our studios. So we used the Toy Story story writers to work on the story of the game and the mythology. We had the Shrek character designers came to the studio and help on working with the character design and the design of the characters, and so it was a great journey. And obviously now it seems after 3 years into the franchise, it's one of the fastest selling franchises in the industry. We've achieved more than $2 billion retail revenue over the last 3 years. So some people are saying, it was easy, but I can tell you it was not easy. At every stage of the process, it was very tough decisions that we have to make in how many characters that we want in the game. And one of the decisions, for example, we had to make is whether we were going to make the toys ourselves, because we are a video game manufacturer, we are not a toy manufacturer to begin with. But we didn't want to give the creative control of the toys and we had discussion with big toy company that I'm not going to mention here. But it was one of the big decisions we've made is we want to control the IP from A to Z, and we want to control the distribution, the marketing, but also the toy manufacturing. And we also put a lot of work into the design of the toys, but also at the manufacturing level. If you look at if you play Skylanders, if you look at the characters, the level of details and painting on the characters, we are very proud of it. And it's a lot of a very complicated painting process. But we wanted the characters to feel a little bit collector. And so we put also a lot of investment and emphasis on the design and also the manufacturing of the characters. So 4 years after, we've just launched Skylanders Trap Team, which is our fourth iteration in the franchise. We are very happy that we have created a new category for the industry, which is we call it internally Toys to Life. Obviously, it's not a surprise that other companies found the idea very interesting and decided to have a go and have a try, and that's great. It's a great recognition that we found sort of a new market, combining the toy market and the video game market, and the fact that big companies like Disney, now Nintendo with Amiibo are entering the category. We feel very encouraged by the fact that they are entering the category. So it's a long answer to
it's good,
the journey of Skylanders.
D'accord. Let's look at the other game. We will go back and forth between Skylander and Destiny. Skylanders came from an internal studio at Activision, and there was a lot of iteration. Destiny is a third-party studio that has a long history of working with another publisher exclusively for years. That game is in a category where Activision is already super strong. There's the Call of Duty franchise, there's the FPS already in the Activision family. Why the hell would you work with them? Tell us this story, and we'll
first I think, it always starts with a creative vision, and that's what we think at Activision. So when Bungie decided to work on a new universe and a new IP, they've already started to work on Destiny while they were finishing the Halo saga, and so they have approached several publishers, and we were one of them. And obviously, on the back of the Halo success, Halo generated more than $3 billion retail revenue and digital revenue. There was a lot of people interested to work with Bungie. But they also were very demanding on what they expect from a publisher. And they were, they had a very clear vision of, what Destiny would be for them. And for us, it was a little bit different from what we used to do because, as you probably know, most of our big IPs are developed internally or have been created internally. Skylanders is a good example. It was an idea which was coming from our internal studio, Toys for Bob. So it was lots of discussion internally because it was an unusual approach to work on. I mean, obviously, we've worked with external developers in the past, but not on such a big project, not such a big investment. And I think there was nervousness on both sides because I think what Bungie was looking for is more independence, and that's why they decided to to separate from the Microsoft and to let the Halo franchise in the hands of Microsoft. So for them, it was a very important decision for their future, and for us, it was also a big, a big change and also a big investment. But I think we really love to be very simple. We really love the vision. The vision was to change a little bit the way we play FPS, and especially the way we play FPS on the consoles. And the vision was to bring, to create for the first time, an FPS within a persistent universe and a persistent world. And even though I don't want to make comparison and to create sort of hybrid model between what we know very well, which is Call of Duty, and what Blizzard is doing so successfully with a persistent world and a persistent universe. And we felt that it was a very brave and bold vision, a very big vision. At Activision, we love big projects. We love thinking big. It doesn't mean this is, by the way, it's the only way to success in the industry. We've seen over the last couple of years, small independent projects being extremely successful. There's not only one path for success in our industry, and that's great. That's what makes the industry so exciting. But we love the Bungie vision. We love the people. We love the way the studio was organized. We love the talent. And also when we discovered the universe and the attention to detail, each character, was designed with a story. Each level, had painting, and we really fell in love with the vision and with the project. And so, first and foremost, that's why we decided to invest in the project. But it was back in end of 2009, 2010, and it has been a long journey because we just launched the game 7 weeks ago. So it has not been an easy journey because it's such a big beast, and the vision was so big that we had a lot of work between the vision and the launch of the game.
Yeah, definitely. But this is a new IP. You've launched it. I think you can say you're happy with it. You can. It's a long journey. I think. Even if Bungie has a really good reputation, you never know what's going to come up, and there is definitely some risk. How's Destiny today? I think very briefly.
And I'm happy you're saying that because I feel sometimes Activision is not enough recognized and rewarded for the creative risk that we take, whether it's Skylanders or whether it's Destiny. I think it was a big risk because you're right. You never know. It's not because it's Bungie and it's not because they had great legacy and fan base on Halo that it's going to automatically translate on the new game.
They were going outside of their comfort zone. They have never done a persistent world before. I mean, Halo is a great game, but there's no persistent universe the way that Destiny has. So they also don't just do what they know to do, they also push the envelope. I mean,
No, you're right. I mean, I think, for those who play Destiny, you can feel the Bungie DNA, and it's not, it's still at its core an FPS action game. So they stayed somehow in the comfort zone, but they push, obviously, the vision much further, and I think the vision is now coming to life, but it's also only the beginning. We just launched the game. So back to your question, yes, we are very happy with the success of the game, with the feedback from the community. Because we are a public company, we are not going to talk about any numbers today. The first number will be, we have an earnings call next week, so we'll give our numbers to the shareholders. But we are very, very pleased with the numbers. We are also an important partner in that journey, which is Sony PlayStation. We have a global partnership with Sony PlayStation on the franchise for a couple of years. And the week that they launched the hardware bundle, they broke every record. It was an historic hardware sales on that week and the next couple of weeks. So not only we are very happy with the success of the game so far, but we are very happy, and our partners are very happy. However, it's only the beginning of the journey. We feel there's still a lot more people to convince, a lot of more people to join the universe. So we have currently, and this is public information, so we have 3.2 million players every day. And the piece which is really humbling is the people are spending, in average, more than 3 hours playing the game per day. And a lot of people have invested already, more than 60, 70 hours into the game. So they spend a lot of time playing the game, which create also a challenge because they say, we want more content. And so the thing that we do on Destiny, which is part of the DNA of the game, is it's a persistent world which allows us to schedule public events, new raids, and new mission in the game in real time, and all this is for free. There will be also some expansion pack, which are paid expansion pack, but there's lots of new content that we are going to add on the day-to-day, which are for free. But we are trying to cope with the demand because the players are spending so much time with the game that they want more content almost every day. And for those who are working in the development community, it's difficult to create content every day.
Yeah, indeed. Skylanders, going back a bit to Skylanders, go back to Destiny at the same time. Skylanders is an obvious retail product. That's a physical component, so that's a strong retail presence. Activision's been working on retail games for years. Destiny is for more hardcore audience, hardcore gamers. They are more attuned with digital download, digital presence, all those kind of things. But Activision's DNA on retail, so not exclusively, I mean, but what do you see is the added value of the retail space for those kind of games? You think it's going to phase out? Is that a role to play? Is it something that you see in the future will stay and as a role into the whole kind of like our ecosystem? And yeah, I should stop talking.
No, I think we are probably one of the few, I can't talk for my colleagues from other publishers, but we firmly believe in the retail model. And we believe that obviously, even though a lot of IPs and franchises are going digital, but we believe even for a franchise like Destiny that the retail model is very important. And for example, when we launched Destiny, we also launched on the day of release, we launched the Season Pass, which is now, several games are launching with the Season Pass. And when you look at the success of the Season Pass, where obviously some people are buying the Season Pass digitally, so they go on the PlayStation Network or Xbox Live, and it's a fully digital transaction. But we also have a lot of Season Pass, conversion through retail, and especially in specialist retailers like Game or GameStop, and we see that when the retailers are able to bring upselling and advice and explain and articulate what you get in the Season Pass, why it's great value for money, and especially when you have the consumer and the player in front of you. So it's like, when you go, I had this experience a couple of times, I'm a big Apple fan. When I go to the Apple store and I buy my MacBook or the iPad, or the Apple staff in the store is telling, if you want to get, a 1-year subscription, you will be able to have on a weekly basis some, courses or lessons about, how to use Keynote, how to use this, etc. And so when you are in the store and buying your hardware, you are more receptive. You say, yeah, maybe it's a good idea. Maybe I'll take the £40 or the £30, annual subscription. And when you have someone physical, in front of you explaining, the benefit you could get from that, I think and we think it's a big advantage. And I think it's the same with some gaming retailers and the season pass or some digital content. When you have, passionate staff in front of you, they are able to say, look, you just bought Destiny, it's a great game, but if you buy the season pass, by the way, you will save some money rather than buying the digital content individually, but also you will get this, you will get that, etc. And what we see is the transformation rate and the conversion rate for these retailers who are doing a really good service is strong, really strong. And even more so in some markets that we know, like Germany, for example, the consumers are more reluctant to give, spend digitally and give credit card details. So we feel even for, digital core games, there is a great future on the retail model. But as long as you provide a good experience for the consumer, as long as you provide a good in-store experience. So, for example, and we discussed that before the conference, when you go into a store and you have a wall of PlayStation cards or iTunes cards which are not branded, it's not really emotional. We feel this industry and like the entertainment industry is about passion. It's about when you buy Game of Thrones, it's not the same like if you buy Walking Dead. When you buy Destiny, you have an emotional connection with the content that you are buying. And when you buy or when you gift, an Apple card or an iTunes card or a PlayStation card, which is just branded with an Apple with a PlayStation logo, we feel it's not the same that if you have a Call of Duty or a Destiny branded card. And so I think the retailers still have a lot of work to do to improve the merchandising in store and to make a better job at creating the demand and stimulating the demand for digital content in store. And I have to say we've learned a lot from Blizzard. Blizzard have been pioneers in creating some subscription cards and branded cards at retail, and the fact that we are part of the same company and part of the same family, we've learned a lot from Blizzard on that front.
So you're saying that Activision learned from Blizzard to do retail well in some way. Well, some part of the retail well. That's interesting.
Yes.
It's very well, very good.
And this is something we obviously we run and our shareholders want to run the companies, and we have what we call internally an independent studio model. That's why we organize in what we call business units. And Blizzard is the way they work are very independent from the rest of Activision. However, over the years, we built great connection with Blizzard, and there's lots of we are sharing some expertise, and because we have, I think they have to learn from us on certain area of the business, and we have a lot to learn from them as well.
I think that was maybe a good time to maybe open some questions to the audience, like on how Skylander marketing is operating. Yep.
Hello, I'm Pierre. We've met already. I was just wondering, when it comes to marketing the games and selling the games, do you sell today Destiny online completely? I mean, do you sell the full version via Sony, Xbox One, and PS4? And if you do, what is the difference in terms of marketing and in terms of revenues? I mean, it's definitely growing on PS4. And what do you see for the future in terms of marketing and sales digitally?
But I mean, by nature, the next-gen consoles are now, connected. So I think the level of connected consoles on the new generation of console versus the previous generation console is way bigger. So, I mean, we sell the game and our franchises everywhere it's possible, whether it's retail, whether it's PlayStation Network, Xbox Live. We want the content to be available to everywhere. So for sure, PlayStation Network and Xbox Live are becoming, important customers and important distribution channels for us, and they are growing. There's no question about that, because now people are connecting their consoles almost automatically. And it's convenient. You can go on the PlayStation store and you have a click to buy, but it takes time to download. So I think, I mean, for sure we are doing a lot. And again, the way you promote your game on the store, on the digital store, somehow is the same thinking of the way you promote your game in the physical store. You want your game to be as visible as possible, and you want to make the transaction as smooth for the consumer.
Yes, I have a question. The Call of Duty is coming out in a couple of days, and it's one of the first time Activision has two main FPSs coming out around the same time. And how do both marketing teams, I suppose there are two different marketing teams, one for
Absolutely.
Call of Duty and one for Destiny. Is there any coordination between both marketing teams? And if you had to tell a kid who only has one FPS game to buy this Christmas, which game would you tell him to buy?
It's a difficult question. On the marketing side, there is a Berlin Wall between my Call of Duty colleagues, and I used to be the Call of Duty general manager a couple of years ago. So I moved on the dark side of the force when I joined the Destiny project. So no, there is a Berlin Wall because we wanted to have this internal competition from a marketing standpoint. So on the marketing side, it's pretty simple. It's everyone is fighting for his franchise, and is trying to present the best marketing plan. You have noticed that the launch window is not the same. So that's the first way you avoid creating too much cannibalization. We launched Destiny early September. Call of Duty is launching now, so almost 2 months after the launch of Destiny. And we also feel that there is enough room and enough players in this market, and the market is growing for the two games to coexist. Again, you know probably the game. The gameplay of these two games are not the same. The universe is not the same. So we have some people who will buy the two games. There will be some people probably hesitating and buying one or the other. But we feel in terms of gameplay and the DNA of each game, they are pretty different. And that's why we felt, and obviously we had all this debate internally, even before we signed the project, to say, we have already the biggest first-person franchise. Do we need to invest and take creative risk on another one? And we felt it was worth it. And so far we are very happy with the Destiny launch. Call of Duty is launching in a couple of days, and we'll find out at the end of the year whether it was a great decision or not. But in the past, we've launched Call of Duty games alongside Halo launches, and it worked really well, and both IPs were very successful. So we see that positively. We think we prefer Destiny to be in our Activision portfolio than to be in a competitor portfolio.
Hi. If you do not mind elaborating on that, I'm very interested in the thinking and the decision-making process behind moving the Skylanders franchise to the mobile market and to the mobile platforms.
I think I'm glad you asked the question, because I've been doing a lot of interviews with European medias and talking about innovation. You know, we have a big innovation this year on Skylanders, and if you have the time to go on it's quite busy, but on the Skylanders booth here at the Paris Games Week, we are launching what we call the tablets queue on Skylanders. And so we've tried some tablet games on Skylanders with certain success, but probably not the same kind of success that what we had on the home consoles. And so this year we said, you know, obviously we know that some kids are starting to play on the tablet or on the mobile platforms. And you know, and we know that, you know, for some families and kids, the traditional home consoles, it's not the natural way to play. So when we have great content, and we feel we have great content with the Skylanders franchise, we want to offer the content where the consumers and the kids are playing. And that means a lot of headaches, because we say, okay, if the kids are migrating on the tablets, how do I, you know, capture the kids? But you know, how can I create the same experience that I have on the home console into a tablet? And so that's why we are launching this Skylanders tablets queue, where basically we are translating the 360, PS3, or Wii U game quality, so it's HD quality into a tablet. It's like so if you play the game on the tablet, if you go on the booth, it's exactly the same game, same content. And so we've pushed the innovation by packaging the portal, which is the magic portal where you bring the toys to life. And within the portal, there is a place where you can put your, it's also a portal and a stand for the tablet. So the kids can put the tablet and the portal. And we have included into the portal a controller. It's a small controller for kids' hands. It has been designed to fit with, you know, smaller hands. And basically, not only in terms of visual quality, not only in terms of gameplay, but also in terms of the precision of the control mechanism, we are going to offer on the tablet and on mobile platforms, you know, a console experience. It's a completely new way of playing on the tablet. It's a very disruptive innovation. Again, we've done a lot of testing and a lot of research around that. We feel it's going to take some time to take off, because most of the people are used to play on the tablet by touching the screen. So now telling them you have to take a controller, it's a totally new way of playing on the tablet. And we really expect that this initiative is going to be followed by other games publishers, and that, you know, there will be other players and other publishers, you know, trying to do what we are doing and change a little bit the way you play on the tablet. Because from the tests we've done, we feel it's a great innovation. And it's like, you know, because, you know, the TV can't move. You can't bring your TV on the go when you are in the train, or you can't bring your TV in the living room. And what we've done, what we've tested with the Skylanders tablet queue is we've tested the fact that the kids will, you know, take the tablet or the tablet of their parents and play everywhere in the house. And we firmly believe this is an important innovation for the industry. Again, we just launched 2 weeks ago. The early results are, I would say, encouraging. Again, I won't say more. But we also hope that other publishers will follow that route.
More questions? Mika.
But so the what I call the tablet game is you know, iOS and Google Play. So it is also because the portal is connected via Bluetooth, it's also playable on the telephone. To be fair, I think the best and the full console experience is really to play it on the tablet, because of the size of the screen as well. Any other questions?
Anyone else?
Great.
Great.
Do you have any questions?
I still want to talk a little bit about Skylander, and because I think when we discussed before, you said something very interesting that I think we haven't been breached yet, is the learning curve, the how, from a marketing point of view. So you've done the research, you've brought kids, you've played the game, they have the magic moment, they play, it works. But then, how do you create, on a large scale, because we're talking about large scale, what kind of tools do you use to get people to understand what Skylander is in a world where it doesn't? I mean, Disney Infinity and Amiibo, they have an easy time now because people know about those toys to life principles. What kind of things you have to go through to be able to tell the world you'll have a toy that goes into the TV and it's going to be great, because it sounds like something that you need to experience yourself to like. That's a big marketing challenge.
Yeah, it's a big marketing challenge, and that's where working at Activision sometimes it's great because we have the marketing power and the marketing muscles, and at the end of the day, the marketing dollars to to take these big initiatives. So to your point, we felt it was very important to create a lot of trials in the game. We felt it was critical. Obviously we were planning for TV advertising and lots of PR, etc. But not different from an online game or any other game. We felt the best way for the kids to understand the magic moment where you bring the toys to life in the video game was for them to try the game. So we have invested into a lot of trials and even pretty large-scale trials. So we partner with a lot of kids festivals. We created a summer tour with Nickelodeon. And everywhere we had opportunity to reach the kids and the families and to show them the game, we have invested into that. So we had multiple booths at the biggest kids event in Europe, and it was the same in the US. We did also some mall tours. We did a Micromania tour, GameStop tour, Toys R Us, first to play event, etc. And obviously it comes with a lot of cost. But we felt it was very important to bring the magic to the kids and to explain the innovation, and it was 2 or 3 months before the launch of the game that's where all these trials took place.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Do you believe that there's a possibility of creating an adult version of Skylanders? I mean, not toys, but like figurines. Plenty of adults like game figurines and collecting them. Do you believe there's a room in the market for creating using Destiny franchise, for example? Do you believe there's a way we could someday buy our favorite Guardian from Destiny and putting on the game? Or do you think it's too limited to a certain number?
No, I think it's a great question because, I mean, for the moment, we are focused on continuing to innovate with Skylanders, and this year, for those who know the franchise, we have pushed the envelope even further because the biggest innovation was I bring my toys to life into the video game. This year, it's the double magic moment, as we call it internally. You capture the villain from the digital world, and you capture in the physical trap, and the trap is talking, etc. And it's very successful. And the kids love the traps. So we are focused on pushing the innovation envelope within the Skylanders franchise for the moment. It doesn't mean that in the future we might not explore other routes. At Activision, we like to bring some disruptive innovation to the market. We discussed again before we had, we enjoyed great success with Guitar Hero in the past. It was again a new way to play on the console. We innovated with Skylanders. And why not? It has to make sense, and you can obviously imagine because we feel we found a new play pattern, which is combining physical and virtual. And yes, for example, you can imagine in Destiny that you have a Guardian that that you buy physically and you bring it to life in the video game, but it could be possible. For the moment, it's not, it's not where we want to go, and we are really focused on making Skylanders a great experience for the kids and for the families, and we feel we have already enough on our plate. But in the future, who knows?
Hi, Michael. Speaking about toys, I wanted to know, you partnered with Mega Brands to make some Call of Duty building toys, and I was really curious to know what was the thinking behind that.
Well, I mean, the first thinking is we are on Call of Duty, and again, I've not been involved in the franchise over the last 3 years, so I can't really talk on behalf of my colleagues. But when I was working on the franchise, we have been approached by many companies trying to make licensed product, based on Call of Duty, and based on the success of the franchise. And so, what I know, and again, I don't know all the details, is we found it was interesting to take Call of Duty a little bit outside of the comfort zone, and Mega Bloks, we feel, is a good company. They are creating some nice play sets. And for those who have seen the Call of Duty play sets, they are pretty nice. And it was interesting to bring the franchise to a different audience. What is interesting, and back to your previous question, from the early indication in terms of sales figures, it seems that it's more the fans of the franchise, what I would call young adults, who are buying the Call of Duty toys from Mega Bloks rather than the kids. So for us, we saw it as an opportunity for Call of Duty to capture a younger audience and to get a younger audience interested as an entry point into the franchise, because as you know, our game is 18 plus, so we don't want the entry point to be the video games when you are 7 or 8 years old. So we saw that maybe the toys will be an interesting entry point. But from the early discussion with Mega Bloks, it seems that we probably have even bigger success with the fans of the franchise and young adults than with the kids. So, which is interesting, and probably a bit unexpected.
And do they play, or you just put it on shelf?
I mean, we don't know whether they collect it or they put it on the desk or in the living room, or whether they. I mean, my gut feel, and again, I don't have any research on that, is I feel it's more like a collectible and a collector, way of, consuming the toys rather than playing with them.
Any last question? Well, thank you.